Okay guys, I'm going to get straight back into it from where I left off, and I'm going to start with S up to Z. First one is the Society Arrow Blu-ray set. This is the bigger set. You can get it on a single one as well. This is the one with the book and that in there, and probably a poster and that. To be honest with you, I haven't really looked what's in there, but good box, nice feel to it, like it's like a 3D effect, if you can see it from the side there. This was like the limited edition one like this. Obviously those type of Arrow ones are only like a limited edition. These are a very nice box. I do like the movie as well. It's a very strange movie, but 80s movie, but it's definitely well worth having. If you can't get that particular set, just get the single disc. I'm going to leave that one out actually because it's going to be harder to get to move some of these. Next on the A to Z is Superstition. I think this was known as the Witch over in the UK when it came out. I think I'm right in saying that the Witch, but this is the US DVD because nobody don't seem to release this one. Certainly not in the UK. Would be nice to have a Blu-ray of this from somebody, but never seems to happen. This is on the US Anchor Bay label, but it's a good one and well worth having. Next one's not a horror, but I do keep it in the A to Z because, you know, it was banned at one time. This is Sam Peckinpah's Straw Dogs. This is the original one with Dustin Hoffman, Susan George. What a fantastic movie. Still stands well today. Very much like this movie. Big fan of Susan George anyway. But this is definitely a great movie to have. So if you haven't seen Straw Dogs, I mean, they did do a remake, which is not very good, but the original Straw Dogs is an excellent movie. Next is Dario Argento's Suspiria. This is the UK Blu-ray. Phenomenal picture, ever so good quality. This is the UK release on that Cult Films. They've released a few of his other ones on there as well. I think they did opera and that on there as well, but this is probably one of his best ones, which I think so anyway. This is the UK Blu release. Next up is just the UK DVD of on the old Arrow label. Again, look, this is Surf Nancy's Must Die. Strange one, 80s one. Not so much a horror, but you know, a lot of violence and that in it from what I can remember. But it's an okay title and it's worth having. Next up, the same again, not a horror, but you know, it's still quite a good one. This is a movie called Tenement, or I think that's how you say it anyway. Game of survival, like a gang like rule this apartment block in that, and they've got a few nasty scenes in it, as you get with these type of movies. This is the US one. It's out on the UK as well. This is the US DVD on Shrek Show label. But he's an okay movie, not too bad. Next is Toxic Avenger. This is the UK Blu release, uncut now. This is on the 88 films one. It's got a poster and that in there as well, if I remember rightly. Probably the best one in the series. Well worth having if you don't have it. That's the UK Blu with the green box as well. Also have the second one, which is uncut now as well. This is on 88 as well. This is the UK Blu-ray edition, sorry. Another one worth having. Next is Toxic Avenger Part 3, which is on the 88 as well. I've heard this one's they put the wrong edition out and it's a little bit cut, so I mean mine's still sealed. I've never even bothered to actually watch it. I've seen it on VHS, but that's what I've heard it's actually cut. And the last one, which is the fourth one, which is on 88 as well. This is the Blu-ray release as well, Citizen Toxie, which is the Toxic Avenger Part 4. To be honest with you, I do not remember this at all, so I can't say an awful lot about that one. Next up is Two Evil Eyes. I'm pretty sure this is out on Blu-ray now. I think this is on the Arrow DVD, the UK one. This is like a few horror stories in one. Like George Romero's done one, and Dario Argento's done one of the movies on there as well. So you know they're going to be pretty good. But that's an okay title. I haven't seen it for a long time, but I do like it. Next up is Tobe Hooper's Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I mean, everybody knows the old Texas, don't they? This is the UK Blu-ray edition. It's still sealed. It's like in a tin, like a what's name box. I shan't bother to open it because I got loads of Texas Chainsaws. Fantastic movie. You know, one of the early ones which like helped to bring all those type of movies on. It's well worth having. I would say if you haven't seen it, get it, but I think most people have probably seen it. Next up is the Arrow big box set for Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2. This is the one with like a few discs in there and a book and all that. Well worth picking up. I like Texas Chainsaw 2, worth having. And well worth having if you can get that particular edition. That's the Arrow one again. Next is Texas Chainsaw Massacre Next Generation. One of the many Texas Chainsaw Massacre follow-on movies. This one's quite comical in places, and this one does get a lot of flack from the fans. This is the US DVD release. Is available in the UK as well, and they have released this on a UK Blu-ray as well, which I haven't picked up, but I probably would. It's got a great cover on it. Next up is the 88 release of Toolbox Murders, which is uncut now. It used to be quite cut in the UK, but this is now uncut. It took a long time to get uncut, but it got there in the end. So this is a great edition. This is a UK Blu-ray. I haven't actually seen the quality of this one because I used to have it on DVD, which I sold on, and but I should imagine it's pretty good. Next is Dario Argento's Opera. This is just the DVD. And like I said, it's out on Blu-ray now as well. I just haven't got around to getting it yet. But it's a good movie by him. Well worth having. Next is Sergio Martino's Torso. Now this is the UK Shameless Uncut edition. Now this one has been put out on a Blu-ray now. It's one I wouldn't mind picking up. I quite like this movie. Next up is Herschel Gordon Lewis's 2000 Maniacs. This is the US something weird video with the old snapper box. Uncut, and it's uncut in the UK now. I remember the old UK VHS used to be cut to ribbons. I think it might be out on Blue, I'm not sure. But it's okay, and it would probably be my favourite movie of his, because I've said before, I'm not a massive fan of his movies. But I do like that one. Next up is Unhinged, which I'm not a fan of. It made the Nasties list back in the day. There's not that much in it, a couple of bits of gore at the end, but this is the US one, US DVD. I'm pretty sure it was released over here, but I'm not a big fan of it. Next is Cronenberg's Videodrome. This is the set one which came out with a few DVD, with a few Blu-rays in there, book in that, in some other bits and pieces. Probably sought after now because it came out and it was like out of print within a matter of days or whatever. But I managed to pick it up, and I like Videodrome. It's probably my 4th best movie of his. Next is the Video Nasty's Definite Guide, which is a compilation of all the old previews and trailers for all the movies, some documentaries on Video Nasty era. Well, a well-worthy set to have. It's got some cards in there as well, with pictures from some of the old Video Nasty covers. This is on the Nucleus label. This is the UK DVD. Worth having if you like that type of stuff. And not long after, they released number 2 with the Video Nasty's Definite Guide Part 2. Exactly the same thing. If I can get in there without, it's going to be a bit difficult. But as you can see, it's got the discs in there with the trailers on. Actually, the 3 there. Look, they've got some cards in there as well. Difficult doing it one-handed. But I should imagine most of you would probably have those if you're into the Nasty era. Next up is Violence in a Women's Prison, which is okay. It's like an Emmanuel type movie. Well, it is an Emmanuel movie. I think it might be a different name in some other countries, but it's okay. Typical sleazy movie from that era. Next up is Visiting Hours. This is the UK Blu-ray release, which is well worth having. It's one of the ones that made the Barn list in the days. So he's still sealed as well. I did used to have the DVD, and I haven't actually played this particular version, but he's well worth having. Next up is Ruguro Deodata's The Washing Machine. Very strange title. And this is a great looking box from Shameless. Look. This is the tin box in the shape of a washing machine. As you can see, it's got the makes it look like there's somebody inside the washing machine, but obviously it's not. But that's a good addition to get, and if you can ever get that one, I would suggest to get it. But I don't think you will now. I'm pretty sure it's out of print now. This is the Arrow release for The Witch That Came From the Sea. Another one that made the list back in the day. To be honest with you, I'm not a big fan of this one, and never was. This is the one that Arrow put out. It's the UK Blu-ray. Not a fan of it, but it's okay. Some people like it. I don't. Next is Women Behind Bars. Jess Franco's effort. Not a big fan of this one. This is the US Blu-ray DVD release, which I picked up because the UK one's a little bit cut. So, not much to say about them. Those sort of prison ones are virtually all the same. Lots of naked women and not much else. Next up is X-Ray, which is part of the Slasher collection on 88. He's worth having. I've only seen it once, but it's not a bad title. I think it's got a different name as well, if I remember rightly, as quite a lot of them had so many bloody names back then. This is the UK release of Extra, like a sci-fi horror. This is the one put out by, I gotta think now who this is, Second Sight. Still sealed as well. This is like a special edition version. I haven't looked inside to see what's actually in there, but I know it's got quite a lot of other bits and pieces in there on that one. But I quite like that movie, and he made the list back in the day. So I would get the Extra. Next is Zombie Creeping Flesh, which is put out by 88 on the Italian collection. Good zombie movie. This is uncut now as well. It used to be quite cut when it first came out, so it's well worth having. Part of their Italian collection, Blu-ray, so he's well worth having. Next is Zombie Flesh Eaters 2, or Zombie Free, whatever you want to call it. There's another one by Lucio Fulci. Supposed to be like the sequel to Zombie Flesh Eaters. God knows if it really is, but this is put out by 88 on the Italian collection, UK Blu-ray, but it's not too bad, and I quite like this one. Some pretty good scenes in there. Next is Zombie Flesh Eaters 3. Not a very good title. This is put out by 88 as well on the on Blu-ray edition. I've never actually opened it. It's still sealed, as you can see. I've no idea what the quality's like. I used to have the DVD, the old Vipco DVD, and the quality on there was pretty rubbish. But next is Zombie Holocaust. It's an excellent movie. This is the one with like cannibals and zombies, so you get two for the price of one. This is put out by 88 on the Blu-ray. This is 88 on the Italian collection, sorry, but it's well worth having. Some great gore in this, and this is the uncut one now, so it's well worth having. I did used to have the old DVD of it, but I certainly upgraded to the Blu-ray because it's well worth having, and like I said, I do rate that movie a lot. Well worth having. Next is Zombie Lake. Not an awful lot to say about this one. It's just the UK. It was put out by Arrow, but it's called Arrow Films. It doesn't look like the Arrow, unless it's their old label. I don't know. But not a great title. The zombies are terrible, and the makeup is just rubbish. But you know, if you're like me, you'll have it, even though it ain't that great. But it's okay. Now I come to the end of that particular section. So I've got a couple more Texas chainsaws to show you. I started collecting them once and then I stopped. This is just all of the original one. I picked up that one, which was the UK first release of it. Picked up that just to have a different cover. This is the US DVD with a different cover. This is the free disc tin version, UK one with a tin. He's okay, worth having. Another UK edition, German edition of Texas. These are all DVDs, by the way, and that's just a German one. And this is another one, English one they put out with the saw on the front. It's got like a little booklet in that inside, I think. But I just thought I'd show you them, seeing as I had them out. And that's it for today. Next time I do a video, it will be, I'm going to start doing the ones I have in the cupboard. So it's going to be a lot of mainstream horrors and other ones as well. Well, I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you've got any comments, feel free to leave them below, and I'll get back to you as soon as I can.